Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be reacting to larenside Draw My Life 25,000 subscribers special, which she has passed that now. She has 296,465 subscribers. Now, I haven't been making videos very often because it is close to the end of the year of school, well, close to summer, and it gets more busy towards that end of the year, which makes it harder. And because it's even more difficult because we have a lot of things going on in 4th grade now. It's different than 3rd grade or 2nd or 1st. I mean, 2nd grade was the worst. Seriously, now 4th grade, you're going into 4th grade. I'm in 4th grade right now, though. Going into 5th grade, though, let's hope I actually don't get held back. I don't want to. So let's get started. I don't want this to be long.
Only right to do it for you guys to celebrate me hitting 25,000 subscribers. Well, now it's 26 already. It's going so fast. I was born on July 7th, aka the day the world became amazing. And apparently I was put into a straitjacket. What the heck is that? I think I was trying to draw bundling of some sorts. I was born into a family which already consisted of my mom, dad, and my older sister Chrissy. 2 years later, my younger brother Ryan was born and our family was complete. I had an amazing childhood, and ever since I was born, I was super close with my family, and we would travel all over and do all of these really cool things. One of the things we like to do was go camping all over the place. We would go camping in an RV, but I can't draw an RV, so this is some type of tent, triangular house type deal here. My older sister Chrissy is actually my half-sister, so she mainly lived with her mom in Pennsylvania, but would visit us a lot. And I remember every time that she would have to leave me, I would cry, and she would have to leave me either stuffed animals or little notes or drawings to make me feel better until she got back. After I was born, my family moved to our house in upstate New York, and we still have that house today. It's truly one of my favorite places in the whole world. I was even lucky enough to be in a house across the street from another little girl who was the same age as me. Her name was Sarah, and we became BFFs. As we grew up, we did everything together, but we were total opposites. I was more of a tomboy and not really caring so much about my appearance and loved playing video games, while Sarah was your classic girly girl, and she was actually the one that started trying to get me into makeup and doing my hair. In 3rd grade, my parents sent me to Catholic school because they believed I was evil. Just kidding. It was because they were doing some silly district separation thing where my brother and I would be in different school districts, and my mom didn't want to separate us. Sarah was coming with me too, so it was okay. In my Catholic school, we had the same kids in every grade for 5 years. I went through cycles of being friends with some of them one year and then not friends with them another year. Eventually, it always just ended up being back to just Sarah and myself, so that was okay. I started liking boys around this time too, but I was a pudgy, brace-faced, short-haired tomboy, so safe to say I was no one's first choice in a date. There was even a guy who dated me for a week and later told me he just did it because he felt sorry for me. Ouch. Jeez. Oh, and by dated, I mean we told people we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but that was it. I mean, we were like in 3rd grade. When it was time to graduate from Catholic school, Sarah and I decided to go to the public high school over the Catholic alternative to get a fresh start and get away from the other kids. It ended up being a really good decision because I made a ton of friends who helped me to experience new things that I had never had before. I even started wearing makeup and dressing nicer. But I never gave up my love of so-called boy activities like playing video games, snowboarding, and imitating the show Jackass. True story, that was actually how I started using a video camera in order to film our crazy antics. Eventually, Sarah found a new group of friends who had more in common with her, and eventually our close friendship faded from there. However, we still keep in touch, and she still lives across the street from my family home. Plus, I ended up making 2 really great friends in high school named Michelle and Kayla, and a whole bunch of other friends, so I wasn't alone. When I started my 2nd year of high school, my dad told us he had lung cancer. I remember not being too worried about it at the time, Because one, I was young and optimistic, and two, he was in such high spirits, saying that the doctor said because he was still young that his body could beat it. Even through the chemo, the hair loss, and the pain, my dad never lost his humor or his bright spirit, and he will always be my hero for that. I credit him for giving me my sense of humor, as well as my sweet tooth. On a cold October morning when I was 15, I was pulled out of class by my mom, who told me that my dad had passed away. It was only 1 year after his initial diagnosis. Obviously, I went through a really dark period after that day. I rebelled against my mom a lot, which was awful. I started dating a guy who wasn't the best influence on me, and I started going to parties a lot. I fell into a really, really bad depression, and I really didn't feel like myself
really
anymore.
Nice handwriting.
If there was any
Mine's
good to
horrible.
come out of something so horrible that happened to us, it was that me and my mom and my brother became so close afterwards.
What?
My mom did such an amazing job dealing with 2 teenagers all by herself. And my brother was always there, telling really weird and funny jokes to try and make me smile.
Please.
Or teaching me all about computers, which has
I'm so
significantly
tired.
improved the quality of my YouTube channel, so thank him for that. But just like my
You
dad,
guys
my
don't know
mom
how
is
tired
such
I
a
am.
hero
I
to
literally
me
woke
for
up
the way that she dealt with such a
2
horrible
something a.m. in the morning.
situation.
It's
And she
only
even
been
started
2
seeing someone who
hours
eventually became my
since I
stepdad,
woke
and we
up.
all loved that he made her
It's
happy
not
again.
even
After
right
dating that
outside
first
yet.
boyfriend for a year, I found out he was cheating on me. Thus why people said I shouldn't have dated him.
Can you
So
give me
that
his
was
email
obviously
so I can
over.
go and
By
attack
the
him
last
and
year of high
kill
school,
him?
I was finally starting to
He
resurface as
is
the person I was
stupid for
before my
doing
dad
that.
died. This is where YouTube first came into
Stupid.
play. Like I mentioned before, I always had a love of making videos, so in 2007, 2 years after YouTube began, I created the account larenside. It stood for Larenside of the Story, and it was where I would post random camera ramblings and videos with friends. I only uploaded a handful of videos over the span of 1 year and then stopped. Knowing my mom wasn't alone anymore, I felt that I could go to college further away to get another fresh start. I went to college upstate for a year and a half, and while it was a blast and I made a lot of friends, I felt like something was missing. After a lot of thought, I felt the urge to be in New York City. It was where my dad grew up, it was where my career opportunities were, because I was going to college for TV production,
New York City.
and it was closer to my mom and my new boyfriend at the time who lived back home. So I made
I
the hard
wanna go where
decision to
you
say
are,
goodbye to my
so
college
then I
friends
can
and
meet
head to
you.
New York City. Meanwhile, I also got the urge to lose weight. I was never fat, but I was the chubbiest girl usually out of all of my friends. So during my transition from upstate New York to New York City, I lost close to 40 pounds and have kept that weight off ever since.
Awesome.
Moving to New York City is without a doubt the best decision I've made in my life so far. The people I've met, the
heck
things
is
I've
above your
experienced, and
head?
the opportunities I've been given have been nothing
How big is
short of
that?
amazing. I always say I really could write a book with my stories, and maybe I will someday. I gained a super close group of friends, and we got to experience amazing things that I never thought I would. Honestly, being young and in the city is one unforgettable experience. Now, mind you, I had my fun in college, but I also worked my butt off. I graduated in the highest GPA tier. I worked as an intern, sometimes for 19-hour days during events, and I also worked a part-time job. I felt like Superwoman.
Superwoman.
One semester into school at New York City, my boyfriend from back home and I broke up. Although I really cared about him, I learned that there's a fine line between someone who loves you and someone who tries to hold you back. I constantly felt stressed and anxious that one of my guy friends would post to my Facebook wall because it would usually upset my boyfriend. That my new profile picture would cause him to ask, "Who are you trying to impress?" If I didn't text him back right away, we'd get into arguments. And I guarantee he would have never let me start a YouTube channel. Sometimes love isn't enough, and you need to find someone who loves you and trusts you enough to do things like go out with your friends and not text them every minute all night. That's just my little love rant. I will continue. Right before I graduated from college, I began dating my now boyfriend, Bobby. We had been interns together and became friends. We eventually started dating, and we've been together ever since. Bobby is the total opposite of my last relationship, and it has strengthened me as a person. I truly believe you should find someone who helps you to be the best version of yourself, and that's our relationship. After we got together, I felt like everything else started falling into place. I found a good job. Bobby and I started renting an apartment together, and eventually we got Dexter.
Dexter.
I finally felt like I had almost everything in my life together for once.
Almost.
But I still felt like something was missing. Here's where YouTube comes into play again. I had recently started finding game commentators, which I had no idea even existed. The first person I found was PewDiePie, and I became addicted to watching his videos because they made me laugh so much.
Markiplier.
I eventually showed my boyfriend, who in turn said I kinda sound like that when I play games. Thus, the idea came about for me to become a gaming commentator with the intention of making people laugh. I decided to reboot my old larenside username and became addicted to making videos again.
Yay.
Since I started my channel a year and a half ago, I have grown more than I ever thought I would, made so many friends as both viewers and fellow YouTubers, and found such an amazing creative outlet that not only helps me to be happy, but also helps others to be happy as well.
You're welcome.
Thank you all so much for contributing to me reaching 25,000 subscribers. I know you guys always tell me how much I help brighten your day, but I just wanted to remind you guys how much you help me to be happier in my life too.
Right
The end. Sorry for being a little mushy, but sometimes life is mushy and not all sunshines and butterflies. Also, if you haven't already, and now that you know a big chunk about me and my life, why don't you hit the subscribe button? Also, make sure to like this video because it took me literally almost all weekend to put together. If any of my stories relate to you, make sure to leave a comment below, and I will see you guys soon.
My phone won't let me comment. But, so, this is another great YouTuber like Hey It's Ali 5. And I would really like it if you guys would check out her channel. She's really awesome. Oh, I didn't know she did this yet. Well, I'll react to this next time, but I need to watch that Sims 4 thing because it's episode 1. It was only made 6 days ago, and I did not see it post up yet. Well, that was probably because I was busy with school and stuff. So, bye!